Hey, Dio. Welcome in. We taking big chance today. I'm okay, I think. I think, therefore I am. Can you hear me okay? Let's see. I think that's it. I'm literally just trying to remember what's going on. And we are going to get started here in just a minute. It's Sunday. It's the 23rd? 24th. So today we are going to attempt to make some Turkish Kofte and also some Spannikopita. So this is going to be two relatively difficult ones. And I've never made it before, and I don't have a recipe. I have memory of a YouTube video I watched 2 days ago. We're going to hope that my brain remembers all of it. We'll give it a minute or two here because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our meat mixture because it needs to cool off. I'm also going to need to make some breakfast food this week. The stuff that's local to the plant is getting expensive, and I definitely don't want to spend that kind of money. By expensive, I mean like $4, $5, $6 a day. So yeah, that's too much. It got cold here too. Oh gosh. I had to turn the heaters on. All right. I think it's time we can get started. All right. So the first one today is going to be this kofte. Now this is a little different than what I've made in the past. I have made kofte in the past, but those were basically just meatballs. This is a pocketed version of that. So it's just kind of in between a bunch of different other things that you might know, like runzas or something like that. But it's more like in American terms, we might even consider it to be similar to kind of like what you do with a corn dog. It's nowhere near the same food-wise, but it's a similar process. So what we have, we've got some bulgur wheat here. This is the actual wheat. It's been soaking for about 30 minutes. And I'm letting it soak up some water here so it can soften up. We've got some sunflower oil, which we're going to use for frying. We've got some tomato paste. Hey, Bon, welcome in. We got paprika and some red chili flake. Salt, garlic, white onion, black pepper. We got some wheat flour. No, I did not. How you doing, Bon? We got some wheat flour here. We've also got some semolina flour, 2 eggs, some walnut pieces, parsley, and our ground beef. So I'm going to grab a picture of this real quick. I'm going to just leave that bowl in it the way that it is. And we are going to get started with making our beef mixture first. And I'm probably making more than I need, but we can use it for something else because this beef mixture is going to be very tasty and usable for multiple situations. So we'll deal with that. So let me go ahead and move our dry ingredients for our breading here. And our frying part, that's the last part. This is also for the breading. And this is for the breading. So let's start off with figuring out our little bits of this and that. I'm not going to make a big mess today because I have to clean up and get everything done today. So I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of these flakes in. Now the paprika in the meat, we're going to use about a half teaspoon, maybe a little more. We will need paprika for the bread as well. I'm going to go ahead and use a little less than half a teaspoon of salt. And a little extra pepper. How's your weekend been, Dio and Bone? Now, first up is our garlic. Hate your computer. What's up with that? Is it misbehaving? Been battling your laptop? Is it winning? Oh, how dare you approach me? I'm actually smashing up the garlic a little more. Before I chop it. We're going to see if we can get a little more flavor out of it. Believe it or not, elephant garlic is not exactly the same kind of garlic. It's actually the bulb off of a leek. A certain type of leek. Alright, so there's our garlic. And we don't actually need a ton of this onion here for this, but we're still gonna cut it and use a good bit of it. The other recipe that I saw them doing it, I couldn't tell if they were using white onion or yellow onion because of the color. So I chose to use white onion. I don't think it'll make too much of a difference. But white onion is usually used with things that are spicy too, so I'm making this a little spicy. I figured it's a good mix. I'm literally doing this one off of a video that I saw them do it with no measurements. Alright, so we're going to use half of this onion. Starting to think that I might have had another onion in the fridge that was already like that, but you know, whatever. Big board, huh? That's fine. All right. Next up is our parsley. This is kind of an integral ingredient for this, so we're going to use most of it. I had about 2 of these this week. It's unusual. Even if we don't use all of that, it's fine because, like I said, we need it for both recipes today. Getting everywhere. Alright, our walnuts. This was not part of the recipe that they did, but I had been reading about it. Apparently it is very common for them to put this in. It adds a little bit of a earthy flavor to it. So we're going to do that. Not a lot, just a little. I'm going to use our grinder for this. Use about a half a cup of these. about a lot. Trying to get into butter, so I think we're done. We almost made walnut butter out of it. That ought to work. All right, ready to start cooking? Switch over to the stove. Seen a couple of videos and heard some people talking about using these weird little spatulas that have flutes on them. Looks to me like those are not very good. I'm not going to recommend that. We're going to let that heat up for a minute. I'm going to chop up the parsley a little bit more finely while that's warming up. Now it's a little bit smaller. Hey Melina, welcome in. You. We're just getting started on the first part of the first recipe. Let the water boil off here. Not quite hot yet. So what are we making? Okay. So I had seen a couple of videos of people making kibble and Turkish kofte, stuffed kofte. And I just sort of watched the video, and now I'm just going to sort of do it based on what I watch. We are taking a huge risk today. I'm just going to try to remember all of it, and we are going for it. I have a guideline from a few other sources, of course, for notes to try and remember, but this version was much simpler. So we're going to try this one. We've got our bulgur wheat soaking. Right now we're making the filling. We'll start off by heating our onions up here. I absolutely have to watch today, so we got to take our time in between runs here. I'm ready to heat up a little more. The cold in here might be affecting it. Wow, I got to move it up to medium high. Huh. And our second recipe is a Greek dish, Spannikopita. Speaking of which, I need to get our almost forgot I was supposed to thaw the spinach out. Yeah, it helps to. Oh shoot, I might have goofed today. I got everything and then forgot about leaving some of it in the freezer that I shouldn't have. Yeah, it's frozen. Oh boy. Alright, our onions are starting to soften up a little. Then our garlic. That's it for a minute or so. Okay, let's add in our beef. Alright, that's thawing. Beef mixed in a little bit here, get broken up. And start seasoning it now. Start with our peppers. This is paprika, a little bit of chili flake. And a little bit of salt and pepper. Now our pulling mix. Parsley. We don't want to cook it too much. We want the beef to be done, but not super done. Wow, good right there, doesn't it? All right. There's no pink left, and it's not turning gray, so we're going to stop there. We're going to come back over here, and we're going to start making our breading. Well, that smells right good. Right off the bat. Not bad, not bad. Okay. For the next part, we've got to make the bread. While our other ingredients are thawing out, yeah, you know, actually that mix would be a good mix for burgers. They'd be a little bit spicy, but that looks pretty good. All right, let me check on this. Okay, good, it worked. I did something I probably shouldn't do. And put that dough in the oven for a minute at a very low temperature. Some of it is still frozen though. At least the outer half of it's pretty good. Just sort of letting the residual heat warm it up, just enough to thaw it. It is very flaky and very, very fragile, so I have to be careful. Nothing wrong with a spicy burger. Nah. Alright, so here is our bulgur wheat. It's been soaking for about an hour now, I guess. It seems to be quite loose, but it's more grainy than I expected. Hopefully that won't cause any trouble. We're going to try to turn this into the breading. This is one where I'm going to have to kind of work at it a little bit here and there to try and figure out what to do. So I'm going to start by adding in a little bit of the semolina flour, which is kind of the basis for pasta. Mix that in there. We want this into kind of like a sticky dough-like mixture. And it is starting to mash out. That's pretty good. And it's getting sticky. That's good. That's really good. That was enough. Okay. Next up is our tomato paste. So I probably need to mash that up some more before I do that. I think I will do that. We also have to mix in some eggs. And some more of our parsley. Not a lot. And paprika. Paprika, just giving it a guess here. Oh, wait, that's the smoke. We want this to have kind of a red color to it, so there's going to be a good bit of paprika. For the moment, I'm going to mix this with a spoon to try and get it in there. Tomato paste will also add a lot of color to it. It is starting to look kind of doughy, isn't it? Hey, Darius! Doesn't look like a video game. Wait, what? Ah. That's weird. I had changed that. How you doing, Darius? Welcome in. We are making Turkish stuffed. I'm gonna call it stuffed kofte. We've made our beef mixture. Nice and somewhat spicy, but not very. Very flavorful instead of spicy. I don't think it's going to be spicy. Right now we're making our breading here out of semolina and bulgur wheat. I'm trying to get it all mixed in. And I'm looking at the consistency and I'm thinking it's still a little bit grainy. We're totally guessing at this. Okie dokie. Welcome in. Oh, hello. I got the beef done. It looks right. Although this shiny bowl is not helping with the color. I'm going to add a little more paprika to this. There were no measurements, so I'm just kind of going by color. I'm also going to add a little bit more of this. Oh, I forgot. See, I'm already forgetting stuff. That's not good. I'm supposed to be sifting in a little bit of wheat flour, too. Believe it or not, even though I don't do baking very often, I do have a sifter. Not much, it's only a little bit, but that'll do it. Now I'm definitely gonna have to stick my hands back in here. Oh yeah, it's getting stickier and stickier. I think my guess at the volume was probably about right. I put in a cup of the wheat. That's definitely starting to have a stronger smell to it too. Although this does feel a little bit loose. I think they were using bulgur flour and not bulgur whole bulgur, and that's what I've got here. I had to grind it a little bit. I should have put it in the grinder, actually. I put it in the mortar and pestle and tried to do it. It wasn't working very well. Yeah. I'll appreciate that, thank you. Alright, let's see what we can do here. The tomato paste is going to add a lot of red color to this. I'm going to try a little more than a decent sized tablespoon here. Ah! Ugh. Ah. Oh no. I think it's too wet. And I'm going to have to chop this up left-handed. The more I wash my hands, the more we lose out of the bowl. There's not a whole lot there to begin with, so let's not do that. If there's any bakers out there, you think I should add a little more flour to this? It's still very, very sticky and kind of loose. It should be more loaf-like, right? I can filter in another tablespoon of flour. I haven't put the eggs in it yet either. Or one egg. I'm going to plan on one egg. Again, this is wheat flour, which is the same as the bulgur, so we're not changing its makeup any. There's a little bit of a tomato odor to it. It smells a little like tomato and a little like parsley. do need to add some salt. Just a sprinkle though. And here's our egg. This still seems kind of wet. Oh boy. I'm not sure what to do here. This needs to be a little more dry. I may just be mixing in flour until I can get the consistency a little better. I've never done this before, so welcome to this experiment, chat. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to wash my hands off. I'm not a big fan of having sticky stuff on my hands. I guess what we'll do is we'll mix in a little more of our powders until we can kind of get the consistency to change a little. Because this is definitely too wet. And if we end up making more because of it, we make it more because of it. Baking is not my thing. That actually looks a little less sticky and it's getting a little more firm. Maybe we're on the right track. It's heavier. Am I doing the right thing, Boo? Just adding a little bit more powder here and there until it gets to the breadish consistency. Okay. I'll add a little more of the semolina wheat here. A little bit more of the flour. Like I say, this was whole bulgur, so it's kind of like grain instead of a flour. This is kind of like making cornmeal breading, but I've not really done that much either. Ooh, wow, that's getting my hands sore. They did add a lot of tomato paste. They also added some pepper, if I remember right. Ooh, we can stop for a second. I knew these recipes today were going to take a while. Alright, looks like our dough's thawed out. Some of it's a little dry. So I'm going to grab a couple of not paper towels, but a couple of towels and moisten them slightly. Hate having to do it this way, but I did. There. Hopefully that'll cook up some water and be a little less crispy. It's crispy, it's crispy. We'll deal with it. Best we can. All right, that's still looking a little bit wet. Might add a little more flour, but we're getting close. Ooh. This is getting stickier and not less sticky. Uh-oh. Okay. Well, let's see if we can form them. Everybody have a decent weekend, I hope. Okay. So we're going to try to form little pockets out of this. Oh boy. Maybe I should put some oil on my hands first. All right, I put a little olive oil on my hands. Then we stuff them. Oh, this is not as easy as it was supposed to be. Oh no, they're coming apart because my hands are too sticky. Damn it. Ugh. me try again. Right? I think we got one. Woohoo! Now, can I fix this one? I don't know. The other recipes had these made just like this, where you mix the meat in with the breading. So I guess that's what we're doing with that one. I don't have a choice. It fell apart. Alright, a little more oil. We gotta be light, nice and lubed up. Gotta be lubed up for this action. Okay, we got two. You think we ought to try to fry these alone before we make any more of them? I think we might.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
Liftoff of mission 41D, the first flight of the Orbit Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna try to fry these two or three that we just made here before we try to make any more of them.
Now have primary control of critical vehicle function.
All right, we're gonna grab our bottle of sunflower oil here. Dump about half of it in there. We gotta get this oil up to about 350 or so, 400. So I'm going to grab my thermometer here. Probably going to have to use the meat thermometer for this one. experimental things are very stress-inducing. We're going through with it. Let me check on the other dough. Looks like that plan's working because they're not crispy now. At least the top ones aren't crispy now. The moisture's filtering through. Hey Lucy, welcome in. Not exactly. We are trying to make some Turkish kofte. But close. We've made a couple of them so far. I just watched this on a video. I literally just watched this on a video. It looked relatively simple, so we're trying it. Right now I'm trying to get the oil up to temperature. Alright, we're up at 180. So we're gonna give it another minute or two. You can hear it starting to pop. Our interior is already cooked, so what we're putting in, what we're doing now is just cooking the breading. I thought I had some metal racks. I think they've disappeared. All I have are these cookie sheets. We'll use those. We want the temperature up to a solid 400 or so. It's up to about 280 now.
Liftoff of mission 41B, the first flight of the orbital Discovery, and the shuttle has cleared the tower. Discovery's core computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Another minute or two and we'll get it started. I will try to write this recipe down. But I think instructions are going to include things like keep adding flour until it stops being like this. Which is not what you want to hear. But hey. Okay, the popping has stopped. I can see it kind of swirling and bubbling a little. We're up to about 310. I'm going to bring it up until it's about 375 to 400. You can't do this with olive oil. If you do this with olive oil, it's just going to burn and smoke. You got to use a high temperature oil like sunflower or avocado oil. And be very, very careful because these types of things can catch fire. That's why I'm going to use a spider to put it in too. He's very helpful. He's a good guy, kind of a web developer. I think we're there. It's timing pretty quick and it's at 380. Okay, I think we're there. Try one. We're going to try our mistake first. I can definitely do these one at a time. The stove cannot maintain temperature if I dump 3 or 4 in there. Hey, Jern. Hello. Welcome in. How you doing? We shouldn't have to cook this more than a minute or so, maybe 2. I'm just kind of feeling the bread in here to see if it's getting crispy. Doing okay? Excellent. Gonna make deep fried dumplings. Oh, okay. I don't normally do this kind of thing, but I wanted to try. Oh, that's getting overcooked pretty quick. We'll set that over here. I'm setting it on a rack instead of putting it on a plate so that it can drip. All right, these are very, very soft. Yeah, it's cooking pretty quickly. I'm gonna have to keep turning them. This may actually still not be hot enough. All right, there's two. We're gonna let the initial outside part cook just a little bit, and then roll it over. It's so sticky, we have to be careful. Alright, looks like I might have let that last one cook just a little too long. It's getting a little dark. But they are going to be a little dark to begin with because they've got paprika and tomato sauce in them. I'm going to call that done. I'm going to turn the heat down on the oil for a few minutes and we'll make some more. Looks pretty good actually. These might turn out okay. I'm not sure how quickly that's going to heat up. We'll see. Okay, so we're gonna come back over here and we're gonna make a few more. We'll just do this in a few stages here and there. I'm gonna coat my hands with oil again. That may also be contributing to the color. I'm going to try this a little differently. I'm going to spread it out a little more. Come on, don't start sticking. That's how the first one got destroyed. We're going to drop our little mildly spicy beef mixture in here. Just kind of press it in there. Kind of close it up. You're sticky the whole time and now you don't want to be sticky anymore. All right, that looks pretty good. A little more oil. Just kind of spreading it out. kind of trying to make it a little more evenly spaced and fill. I would suggest also not using a very heavily fat-laden beef because that juice is going to make it difficult. I used 15% here, and even that amount is causing a little trouble. Come on. We'll turn the heat back up. I think this breading is a little bit thick. It feels a little thick. But it's also very sticky and wet still, so I didn't get this 100% right. Hopefully our spinach is all thawed out for our second run today. It looks like our bread for it is. Alright, let's go back over to the stove and give it a shot. I'm going to check this temperature, but I want it to come down just a little because I want it to cook longer, but not as hot. Oh, that's at over 400. That's almost 500. Ooh. Okay, 460. We'll try to do two. No, we're doing all three. Come on, flip over. Yeah. It takes 5 minutes to make them. It takes 5 seconds to cook them. Jeez. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit more than that this time. We'll make a few more out of everything we got left. I'm going to rinse our plate off here. A little less picky, the better. All right, here we go. Some more oil on the hands. This time I'm just going to go ahead and make all of whatever we got left, which looks like about 3 or 4. Maybe only 2. You're supposed to do it like this. Kind of like stuffing it like this. You gotta stuff your meat right down there in that hole. It's hard to get it in there. Actually, that might have worked a little better. Although I do have a hole now. Come on. Dang it, sticky fingers. Okay, we gotta try and repair it. I'm gonna use this as spackle. Oh no, that made it worse. Okay, so much for this being simple. Ah! Now the other side came apart. Come on. This stuff is just too sticky. Time to move to the main account. Okay. That's what she said. That's what it's turning into today, isn't it? Everything's all sticky and it's hard to get the meat down in there. Keep it moving around. Yeah, it looks like we're only going to get 3. Sorry, Melina. This is technically an 18 plus channel, so I might occasionally have issues like this, and I just can't help it. It's just too easy. The dad jokes aren't always clean. This type of cooking with making these types of things is something that I really need practice on, and I just kind of volunteered to do it today. I normally don't like doing this kind of thing. It may not be the healthiest thing, but it's also not the worst, you know? I'm hoping that our phyllo dough is not messed up, because the second one is going to be a lot more veggie-centric. I actually do like making Mediterranean food. Since this is Turkish, we'll use our special plates today. They're a little dark. They are a little darker than I expected them to be, but nice puns, yeah. I think I've heard that one. Oh no, don't you dare come apart on me. Alright, we're going to do the last three here, and then we'll start on the next one. I'm going to check a roll real quick, and then we'll go over here. Okay. Well, I have a bottle of sunflower oil on my stove. We'll maintain 410 degrees on 4 settings. Hey, Caffeine, welcome in. So we'll do our last 3 here. These do look pretty dark to begin with. They're rather reddish brown. There we go. Let them cook for a few seconds. I'll start turning them. I think the oil got a little hot. That may be what caused that. It's so hard to control on the stove. if I can find the cord to the old Fry Daddy. I've got the Fry Daddy. I haven't used it in years. Alright, there we go. I'm going to stop that right there. Oh my gosh, okay. So there's our adventure into trying to do that. Let me get it cleaned up here a little bit. Start on the next one. The next one was one that was suggested by Jindal. He's not here today, he's on vacation. This is a Greek recipe that I've not tried before. Our oil stayed remarkably clean too, I'm surprised. That's good. I'm happy about that. I will reuse the oil a few times. Now we still got a lot of this left over too, so I can turn this into something else this week. And it was going to be about a half a pound. So we'll set these off to the side and clean up real quick and get started on the next one. Spannikopita. This is a spinach dish. Spinach and feta. Parsley. We have to drain out our spinach. We're going to mix the spinach with garlic, 4 eggs, some feta, a little dill weed, black pepper, and parsley. And then we're going to layer on some violet dough and brush with olive oil. And that's pretty much it. This one will take an hour to cook, so I'm going to have to do dishes and other things. So we'll end up putting this one in the oven, and we'll probably have to end the stream right about that time. So it's going to be a little shorter today. But I will absolutely post this in our Discord and on Blue Sky too. So everybody can see how it came out. So for this one we're actually using what was frozen spinach. They do suggest that you use frozen spinach for this because it requires a lot of it. You need like a full pound, and a pound of regular dry spinach, right, in the bag, is going to be quite a lot. So we're going to use frozen for this. We've already got, we got a yellow onion for this. Our chopped spinach, which I've been thawing. Some of our parsley, but I have some more. Now I called for 2 garlic cloves, but all I've got are right now are the elephant garlic, so we'll just use one of those big ones. Feta and dill. don't actually have the amount they asked for, so I'm going to have to use a little less, which is probably not bad because of the salt content anyway. So there we go. Feta. Dillweed, which used to be an insult when I was a kid. I don't know why, but everybody started calling each other dillweed. There we go. Dill. Now we're going to need some olive oil for this one, a lot of it, and a brush. So I have our freshly filled bottle here. And a silicone brush. We're going to use phyllo. That's what I was trying to thaw out earlier. So what I did is I took the frozen dough and I just turned the stove on enough to make it warm, and then I wrapped it with some moist towels, and it seems to be thawed out. It's a little cold, but it's flexible and it's not crispy, so that's good. We need a big baking dish. We also need some pepper and our parsley, and that is about it. Now I have that parsley there, but I also have one more. Got a nice big bundle here. This is parsley, not cilantro. For those of you that have that little issue. And pepper. So this is it. This is a cheese and veggie dish, really. So we're gonna try this one out. You get a picture for Discord. I'll try to post this one too. Hopefully this one doesn't overcook on me. My oven's still a little bit flaky. The temperature on this is lower. It's like 325 instead of 350. I don't know what that is in weird units. I'm sorry. I don't have it right now. America. No, I don't know what it is. It's like 175, I think, or something like that. Alright. Just trying to make a little room real quick. Let's measure out a little bit of this and that we have to use. So for this one we want, for 4 eggs too, I forgot. So this is going to have kind of like a little bit of a quiche undertone to it. I'm sure that's the binder. Just a second. Clean off our knife here before we get started. Alright, dill we need about 2 teaspoons. Looks like it got a little bit of moisture in there. All right, need much pepper. Enough. We need enough black pepper. What I'll likely do is I will put this in as we're cooking. And we'll call it there. All right. So our first stage here is to get our spinach dried out, get this chopped up, get this chopped up, get that chopped up, and then kind of mix it all together. But we want our spinach to be dry. Dry as possible. So I'm going to start off with chopping up what we have over here first. Oh, we're getting a little microphone feedback. Whoops. Nobody said anything. Smash. There's our garlic. Now let's get our onion. This also says a small onion, but it also does say yellow, so we're gonna have to use this one. Do the same thing we did before. need a little more onion this time. Now the cost on all this stuff today wasn't too bad. It was about $75. It's a little bit more, but at the same time, stores here have already started increasing their prices. Claiming the distributors are doing it, but I don't know. Breaking the onions up a little bit. There we go. Well, let's rinse off our parsley. Herb-based recipe here, so we're going to be using the majority of the parsley this time. I'm going to even go ahead and unbind it. I'm going to use some of the stems. That's a lot of parsley. That's only one and a half bunches right there. I use what we got. Okay, next up is our spinach. Oh, Sari. Oh, Sari got somebody. Wow, Sari's catching them before I even see them now. Alright, next up, our spinach. So I'm going to cut this open and I'm going to put it in a strainer basket. Try and press it out if I can. But this is going to be kind of messy, so I'm going to do it over the sink. I'll be right back. We'll do them one at a time. turned it into a big ball. And grab another bowl. There's one pressed out bag. We are going to end up using more spinach than what they called for, and a little less parsley, so that ought to balance out. This is being baked, by the way. One more blob. I'm not even sure I've had enough. Shoot. This is really taxing my back today. Clean this off real quick before we start assembling everything. Tuggles the eggs. You can try if you want to. I've got a few more. Okay. Well, let me see what we gotta do here. I've never made this before, so I'm following a recipe here. Add the spinach and all the remaining ingredients. Okay. I don't have another big bowl. I used our big bowl today. Uh-oh. My next biggest one is my popcorn bowl. I'm going to press this a little bit more because it's not supposed to have any water. It feels a little better. A little more crumbly. We end up with omelet. I swear this is like 50-50 spinach and parsley. Heck. I'm trying to break up the spinach a little bit before I start mixing in everything else, so it's not all just clumpy. I also need to start heating up our stove here in a second.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
We gotta mix in our eggs and our spices. And I really don't think this bowl's gonna cut it. I'm gonna have to go get a pot. We're gonna have to use the big. We're gonna have to use the big stainless pot because that's all I got left. Oh well. I'd rather have one too big than too small, because too small causes way more trouble. There we go. That actually is a useless skill I learned many, many, many years ago. I actually can do some juggling. I might do it sometime, who knows. Alright, in goes our onions. Hopefully this will break it up a little more. And our garlic. Now, before I start mixing all that stuff in, I'm going to switch to using a spoon or something. I also think we should probably kind of scramble those eggs before we put them in there. Oh, yeah, that's working better. Alright, let's start mixing in our dill. And our pepper. It's funny because when Jindal mentioned this to me, I had never heard of it before. And then when I talked to a couple of other people and Boo Boo and all, everybody else already knew what it was. I don't think I've experienced that before. It was kind of odd. Done so many recipes here. It was kind of cool. I'm using all of this feta. The thing about it is that this is technically not enough. But because they've shrink-flated everything, this is all I can get. So it's going to be a little short. Probably okay because this is salty. So for me it's fine, but for you, you may have to get 2 cans. Ooh, that suddenly has a different smell to it. Huh. Alright, there's our main mix. And our huge mess for the 4th time. Alright, I'm going to take these eggs and I'm going to put them in one of the other bowls. And I'm going to whisk them up. does not say to do this, but mixing this into that mix can be very difficult if I don't. I do have a tendency to only use natural egg, the more natural eggs. I don't like using the white ones. All that bleaching and stuff, I don't like it. All right, there we go. I'm just gonna mix this in here. See that? It just kind of soaked in. Guessing that and the cheese is the binder here. Kind of holds it together. Okay. I'm gonna actually be ending here and probably as soon as I put this in the oven. This is gonna take a while. Alright, we're gonna set our oven to 325 while we're building. Supposed to put a couple of pieces of this dough on the bottom. As you can see, it's already coming apart. Oh boy. I think I'm supposed to put some oil in. Let me check. Oh, no, okay. So we're putting these on dry. Let them overhang the edges. So I guess we're just going to have piecemeal it. Because it broke. I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think I've ever dealt with this stuff before. Mainly because I don't do baking very much. Or pastries. Yeah, see? It's coming apart on me. Just going to kind of layer it a little bit here and there. Rawr. Ah, really? Okay. Doesn't feel too bad. It's just kind of broken. This sheet's fine. I'm just supposed to overlay it against that a little bit. This is probably too much on the bottom already, but we'll see. Now we're going to sprinkle it with a little oil. I'm going to brush it, just gently dabbing it. All right. And we put in our first layer here. I don't know how thick it's supposed to be. I've never had this before. Now the question is, am I supposed to layer this like a cake? I need to check. Actually, I'm supposed to put more on the bottom. Oops. So I guess we're going to make this a little different. It's going to become a cake of some kind. Look at me fouling it up. The top layer is supposed to be thick, flaky crust kind of deal. So what I'll do is I'll just fill this. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the other part, which I am gonna try to get right. We're gonna put a couple of layers. It's a little bit of oil. Even if I did foul up the bottom a little bit, I'm sure this will be just fine, won't it? I didn't realize I was supposed to use most of the phyllo on the bottom. We'll call it Spannikopita upside down cake, right? I'll just flip it over when we do it. We'll put another layer here. Do the same thing. This called for 2 entire cups of oil. I am not kidding you. But I just could not do that. We'll get it nice and wet. Alright, this one tore. So we'll do it in 2 pieces. I promised y'all I would start doing a little more baking. I guess this is technically baking. I'm gonna make sure I get this nice and wet. Keep going. Oh, this layer is a little bit dry. Fix it. Two more layers. Also a little dry in the corners, a little crispy. I'm guessing this is the part where the most of the time is consumed, huh? Always something good. I want to make this layer a little thicker so I don't have to use quite as much oil. Oil lasagna, yeah. We got 2 more layers, and this one's very crispy on the end. It couldn't be helped. It was the problem with thawing it out quickly that caused it. I thought it was in the fridge, and then when I looked, it was actually in the freezer, and you know, we'd already started streaming at that point. I was like, uh-oh. So on goes the oven on a very low temperature. And this is the last layer. I used about at least 1 cup. Wow. This is turning into a spinach lasagna, isn't it? Spinach and oil. Supposed to fold the ends over, but not a whole lot of end to fold. Okay. I suggest that you might want to try to cut it now before you put it in. I think I'm going to avoid that because it's too crispy in places. It also says that it needs to be well wet so that it doesn't scorch. So I'm going to go ahead and soak these sides down real good. It does say to do that, so. All right. I've done cheesesteak lasagna before. Oh, how did that come out? Willing to bet that's pretty good. Oh boy, wow. A lot of energy in this today. Alright, our oven is still heating a little bit. Let me clean the table off one last time. We'll get a picture as we all are anyway. Cheesecake man. Cheesesteak man. I keep wanting to say cheesecake. I'll try out the kofte here in a little bit. Well, this is where we are today. We've got some extra beef. We've got some oil to deal with. I got a lot of cleanup to do. Cheesecake man are coming? Yeah. No, that would not be good, I don't think. Let's not do that, shall we? So letting those drip, they dried out pretty well. That's not too bad. I will get some pictures and post them on Discord and post them online if they came out nice enough. And we will call this a day today. I really appreciate everybody coming in. You could do it like a cannoli. Yeah, possibly. I am going to snooze this ad. And I'd like to thank Dio for being in and Jindal for the suggestion this time. We'll see how it comes out. I'll be sure to share. Good or bad, I'll let you know. I appreciate everybody coming in today. This has been a bit of an experiment. We're trying to figure out how this works. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling that our kofte will taste pretty good, but it doesn't look the prettiest. I'll try and figure out what I did wrong with the binder on it because it was so sticky. I don't think it was supposed to be sticky. It was supposed to be more like a pastry kind of consistency, but it came out more like a hush puppy. But thank you so much for being in everybody today. Let me see if there's somebody we can raid. Nope. Empty. I guess we could say hi to Tauntaun. Tauntaun actually is also a cook, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, everybody. Thank you for coming in. If you've got any emotes, you're welcome to use them. If you don't, that's fine too.
Discovery Houston, press to ATO.
I'm going to change it from dinner's ready to dinner's cooking because it is going in the oven here in just a minute. So if you'd like to get a copy of the raid message, you're welcome to do so. We're going to head over and say hi to Tauntaun. Tauntaun is playing... looks like one of the old gen Street Fighters. We will see you all later. Thank you so much for being in. Thank you, Melina. Y'all have a great evening and a great whatever's left of your day today before everybody has to start going back to work tomorrow. Bye now.